All right. So I've talked a lot in this group, especially those of you that have been around for a little bit, about why I started this. And there were a number of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons was I wanted a place that called out of people the best of them. I wanted a place of both high challenge and high accountability. And so I created a visual when I was first pitching this group to the very early adopters in my base shop back at the time. I started this in October of 2023. So we have been going solidly for over a year and a half now, every single month. There were about 8 people that used to tune into this thing. Now it's not uncommon for us to hit 200 in a morning, which is really, really cool. Anyway, I want to walk you through why my brain was looking for a high challenge, high accountability environment. In order to do that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. So let's start with what challenge is. A challenge is a task or situation that tests someone's abilities. So I wanted to create a high challenge environment that was going to test your ability. I believe to my core that every single one of us is far more capable than we know how to even give ourselves credit for. That for a long time in our lives, we have confused our comfort zone and our ability. And so, what we think is our limit is not our actual limit, but just the limit of our comfort zone that we need to shed in order to realize that we're capable of far more. So, I wanted a place where I could look at someone eye to eye and say, that was not your limit. That is not where you stop, and you are capable of more. I wanted to be able to call out from people more than they saw in themselves so that when inevitably they rose to the occasion, they became proud of themselves and they learned something about themselves. I did not want, there are enough environments in our culture that are going to excuse your misperformance, that are going to tell you it's not your fault, you couldn't help it, it's okay, you don't have to do more, you're perfect just the way you are. There are enough environments where you can get all the coddling you want. You want to get coddling, you want to get cuddled, you want a soft fluffy pillow, you want climate control, you want a warm blanket, you want to be told that all of your life and all of your challenges and all of your limits are not your fault and you're just a victim to the circumstances bigger and stronger than you. If you want to engage in that, you'll find it. But that is never what you're going to get from me. I don't live in that world and I don't speak that language. And I wanted to create a place where the few who speak my language could come together and challenge each other and challenge ourselves to reach our potential and not just embrace our excuses. I wanted to create an environment that challenged people. So that was one reason I made this. But challenge without accountability is an interesting thing. See, accountability is the obligation or willingness to accept responsibility for one's actions. So I wanted not just a place that was going to challenge you, because a challenge that you didn't accept, a challenge that you didn't obligate yourself to, a challenge that someone put on you but you didn't take on doesn't bear responsibility. Just because I say, Terry, you can do this, if Terry doesn't agree with me, then there's nothing I can hold Terry accountable to, even if I see her potential. If she doesn't see it, if she doesn't agree to it, I can't hold her responsible for it. So, in order to create an environment of accountability, I needed a place where people put their hands up and said, yes, I want this. I needed a place where people set their own goals and then we hit those goals and then we raised the bar. That was accountability. So let's take this visual and we're going to draw a grid here, right? So we're going to have this horizontal line is going to be the line of accountability. Above that line is high accountability. Below the line is low accountability. So you've got a horizontal line, high accountability above it, low accountability below it. Then you cross, you make 4 quadrants. You got a vertical line. To the left of the vertical line is low challenge. To the right of the vertical line is high challenge. So you can see we've got 4 quadrants in the challenge accountability space. Let's walk through these quadrants. So this bottom left, you're talking about a low challenge, low accountability environment. Now, one thing I need you to know about each of these environments, you have each of these in your life. We all have each of these different things we engage in at different levels. So none of this is a value judgment of good or bad. What I want you thinking is, oh, what are the low challenge, low accountability things in my life? Low challenge, low accountability is a loose association. Well, what are some of these things? Well, a low challenge environment is one that isn't calling out anything from you. It's an environment where, yeah, you can kind of show up, and even if you show up, nobody expects you to do much. And in fact, low accountability means no one really cares if you even show up. So what are those things in your life where you could show up or not, but even if you do, meh, no one's really challenging you to anything. There's no real responsibility there. Maybe that's a PTA thing for you. You could go, you could not go. No one cares if you do. Even if you do show up, you're just going to listen to someone talk, say nothing from my end, and then you're done. It's a loose association environment. There's low challenge, low accountability. Okay? There's little investment here. Because no one really cares if you're there, there's no accountability. No one's calling you to more, there's no challenge. You have little investment. Little investment in that place. It's the first thing you're going to skip if something needs to get skipped. All right, let's slide over one. Now we're over on the right-hand side, so we're in a high challenge environment, but we're still low accountability. So this is the type of environment I call a lonely venture. There's high challenge, there's stress, there's goals, there's things you want, but there's low accountability. You're there alone. There's nobody saying, hey, we want to see you. Hey, come show up with us. Hey, grab my hand. Come do this with me. This is the type of place where you've got goals, you've got vision, you've got stress, you want to perform, but you are not doing this in community. That's a lonely venture. You want to know something about lonely ventures? They have a high quit rate. Now, I'm preaching to the choir on this quadrant a little bit, but this was the quadrant that I put symmetry in when I was here the first time. I put symmetry in a high challenge, low accountability environment. I had the stress to perform, but I didn't have any friends. I didn't have community. I didn't have a workroom. I didn't have an accountability call. I wasn't engaged. I had nobody expecting me to show up. I felt the pressure to show up, but I was showing up alone. Any environment, maybe for some of y'all, this is the gym. You want to lose weight. You've got a challenge to lose weight. You got this workout diet plan, but you're doing it alone. It's a lonely venture. Any lonely venture has a high quit rate. Any high challenge, low accountability environment, the stress is going to get you. Let's move up. Let's move up to the high accountability places. So in this top left quadrant, you've got a high accountability but low challenge environment. This is a social circle. This is a social circle. High accountability as in we want you here. We expect you to show up. It's not the same without you, but we're really just going to hang out. We're not going to push each other to be more, do more, accomplish more. We're just hanging out. So there's a lot of accountability to be there, but there's not much challenge when you show up there. It's a social circle. There's little growth. Little growth. It's nice to be wanted. It's nice to be accepted. There's no challenge. I know a lot of people in symmetry that this is their quadrant. They're on all the calls. They show up at all the events. They're the most encouraging people in GroupMe. But they have yet to actually do anything productive. It's a social circle. There's no growth. Accountability without challenge doesn't grow you. Which brought me to this quadrant, the high accountability, high challenge, and this is the mastermind. This is the only place you're going to reach your potential. This is the place where high accountability, you are expected to show up. We want you here. We're not the same without you. This is home. This is team. This is camaraderie. Also, we got something to go win. There's a challenge. And if you don't bring the best of you, and if you don't do what you said you were going to do, and if you're not a person of integrity, but a person of compromise, we are not going to accomplish what we set out to do. This is the environment where you reach your potential. Now, what I want you thinking about is so far in your symmetry journey.
Come here.
So far in your symmetry journey, which quadrant have you operated in? Have you been treating this like a lonely venture? A loose association? A social circle? Or has this truly been a mastermind for you? I want to see in the comments. I want to see the honest people stepping up. For some of y'all, this has been a social circle. High accountability. You love being on the calls. Low challenge. No one's calling you out for more. For some of y'all, this has been, probably not you guys, loose association. Maybe for some of y'all, show up on a call, don't show up. No one cares anyway. For some of y'all, it's been a lonely venture. You feel all the stress to perform. There's no accountability. There's no camaraderie. You don't feel that bond that you get with a team that's setting out to win. And I want to promise you that when you move to mastermind, that's when the game changes for you. This is not just in life insurance sales, guys. This is not just in symmetry. Anything that you engage in, that you engage at the mastermind level, you're going to get good at that thing. You engage in your fitness in a mastermind quadrant, you're going to get fit. You engage in symmetry at a mastermind quadrant, you're going to grow a good business. Anything you engage in at the mastermind level, you're going to grow. Anything you engage as the lonely venture, you're going to quit. Anything you engage in a loose association has such little investment, you're not going to care whether you grow or not. Anything you engage in a social circle is going to be fun and friendly, but it's going to be the same a year from now than it is now. What do you want from this? What quadrant are you playing in? See, I created this group to engage in that top right quadrant. That's the reason I created this. I wanted to create a place where the people that put their hand up and said, I want this, okay, we're going to come together, and we're not going to be gentle about it either. You got enough places in your life that are gentle. This is not going to be one of those. Some people have gotten so used to a culture that is so gentle, they don't like this approach. That's fine. This is not your place. This group is not your place. I don't apologize for creating an atmosphere that's going to call you to your potential. I will never apologize for that. Someone's got to do it. Someone has to look through your bullshit and say you're capable of more. Someone has to look through your excuses and say this is not where you stop. Someone has to be able to cast a vision for you that's bigger than you can see. Someone has to be able to do that. If you're not able to do it, hi, I'm Jim Larsen. I'd love to say hi and meet you, but I'm not going to be gentle. You get enough gentle. It's not my purpose. It's not my style. It's not the language I speak. Wanted to give you guys kind of that insight into why I made this group, what you get from this group, and bring us back to the foundation and the purpose of why we come together like this. We're going to go into breakout rooms. Understand? Your AO doesn't take those breakout rooms lightly. Some of your AOs might be new AOs and they don't know how exactly to be not gentle. Some of your AOs are gentle. I'm giving them permission to not be. I'm setting the stage for them to walk into a breakout room where they can put on the posture of calling you to your potential. So go to your breakout room. Expect to be called out. Expect to be called up. Expect that your excuses won't work here. That's what I got for y'all today. Stop this recording. Open up breakout rooms.